Teammates don't quite do it. Learning how to communicate that, articulate what you're seeing. That's been the growth of Caitlin Clark throughout her career at Iowa. Some of those early frustrations with some players early. Now they understand what she's seeing. They understand how to move, and if they're open, she will find them.
Martin commits the foul. Clark thought the defender went straight up.
Caitlin Clark's historic rookie season was secretly a countdown to disaster. While the world was mesmerized by her logo threes and record-breaking assists, a far more dangerous number was ticking upwards, almost unnoticed. She wasn't just leading the league in highlights. She was leading it in technical fouls. With 6 to her name, she was playing on a razor's edge. Just one emotional outburst, one frustrated word away from a league-mandated suspension that threatened to derail one of the most anticipated debut seasons in sports history.
A lot of people didn't watch Caitlin, I think, in college, at least her whole career. That's very much a part of her personality. In fact, at the tournament, the first game or so of the tournament, it was a point of conversation amongst our guests with Andrea Carter and Shania Gumake, just how she needed to keep her emotions in check, how her team played, particularly well. She didn't play well, but her emotions had really got the best of her, and she acknowledged it. She acknowledges all the time. In fact, Lisa Bluter used to call technicals on her at practice because she gets so fired up. So no, I'm not concerned about her being fiery. I'm not concerned about any of those things, or the fact that she, airs her grievances with the refs. But we're so close, Gare Bear, in terms of the postseason. I mean, we've got a handful of games down the stretch. We've got Chicago losing to Minnesota, and then Atlanta losing to Washington, and Atlanta able to hold.
The breaking point seemed to arrive in August during a heated game against the Seattle Storm. After a play didn't go her way, Clark's frustration boiled over and she slammed her hand against the padded post of the hoop. A referee immediately blew the whistle, hitting her with her 5th technical foul of the season. Clark defended her actions, arguing it was a personal expression of frustration that didn't involve anyone else. But the official disagreed, delivering a chilling verdict. Her actions were disrespectful to the game. It was a clear sign that the league was watching her every move, and her patience was wearing thin.
Acknowledged keeping your emotions in check. So I guess in a tense game like this, tense environment, I guess where does your mind, your competitiveness go when, occasionally teammates, kind of have to come in and redirect you away from the refs?
Well, I didn't think they were going to give me a technical at any point tonight. I would have been really sad for people in Washington, D.C. I didn't want to do that. I tried my best.
Just a month later, the situation escalated from bad to catastrophic. Facing the dominant Las Vegas Aces, Clark was called for a shooting foul while on defense. The whistle sent a jolt of rage through her, and she once again let her frustration show on the court. It was exactly what the referees were looking for. The whistle blew again, and she was slapped with her 6th technical foul. The crowd gasped. She was now just 1 foul away from being suspended, a single misstep from being forced to watch her team from the sidelines. The ticking time bomb was now armed.
But I don't want to be getting technicals at all, so. And my mom doesn't want that for me either, and I don't want to pay any more fines, so I'm done with that.
The escalating drama caught the attention of the entire sports world, including some of her biggest supporters. On her show, ESPN's Elle Duncan voiced a shocking warning that sent ripples through the fan base. Duncan, who had long championed Clark, expressed grave concern over her developing attitude. She acknowledged that Clark's competitive fire was the source of her greatness, but warned it had become a double-edged sword that was now threatening to sabotage her career. It was a stunning public plea from a supporter, signaling that the problem was no longer just a few on-court outbursts. It was becoming a defining and dangerous part of her public image.
And obviously the scoring.
Yeah,
Is that accurate?
Yeah, it was definitely fun, and obviously I've gone against JC for quite a while now in my career. Every year I was at Iowa, she was really good at Ohio State, so I'm pretty familiar with her game and what she's about, and I think she's had a really good year for the Wings, and, she just, kind of takes what they give you. She's always consistent. She's always going to step up to the plate and guard whoever she needs to guard, and, happy for her. But, yeah, I thought the game was really fun. Obviously, once we got it to 8, I wish we could have kept that a little bit better. We didn't execute really in the half court as well, and when they started throwing some traps at us, we didn't respond to it great. So I think just executing that last minute and a half a little bit better, where we don't have to like just go to the free throw line and make a bunch of free throws. I thought we were great at that, but you want to get to the point where you don't have to rely on that too. So I definitely love this type of game. Very high scoring, but our defense.
But this was not a new problem. In fact, the most damning evidence of her long-standing temper came not from a commentator, but from her own father. During a high-stakes March Madness game, while she was still at Iowa, Clark spent much of the game locked in heated arguments with the officials. As she pleaded for a foul call for a teammate, a camera zoomed in on her father, Brent, in the stands. His expression was one of pure exasperation. Leaning forward, he was caught on a hot mic, delivering a brutally simple message to his daughter on the court: "Shut up." The clip instantly went viral, exposing a raw, uncomfortable truth. The battle to control her emotions had been raging for years, and even those closest to her were struggling to get through to her.
Her spot, and I thought that 3 she made there in the fourth quarter was huge for us, and we could have executed a little bit better down the stretch, but I think we just really read and understand each other a lot better from where we were at the beginning of the season. Like, the amount of backdoor cuts that girl has got just because we make eye contact and she knows to go backdoor it's incredible. Like that play we ran to start the third quarter, like I wasn't involved in it. I wasn't at the beginning, but like we ran that play a million times and it just made me laugh because like she's so fast that she gets open every single time. So I'm really happy for her and proud of her.
Despite the public warnings and private pleas, Clark remained defiantly unapologetic. In interviews, she admitted that she could have done a little better job of controlling my own emotions. Yet in the same breath, she made a bold declaration about her fiery nature, stating, "That's never something I would ever change." This created a fascinating and deeply concerning paradox. The world saw a generational talent on a collision course with her own temper, but Clark saw a warrior who refused to dull her competitive edge for anyone. She was daring the league to suspend her, convinced that her passion was inseparable from her greatness.
You get the rookie record, you get a career high. It's a tense game from start to finish. Friday, you acknowledged keeping your emotions in check. So I guess in a tense game like this, tense environment, I guess where does your mind, your competitiveness go when, you know, occasionally teammates, you know, kind of have to come in and redirect you away from the refs?
Well, I didn't think they were going to give me a technical at any point tonight. I would have been really sad for people in Washington, D.C. I didn't want to do that. I tried my best. But my teammates do a really good job of that. They think I'm funny. They think it's funny. So, and then Aaliyah is the one that ends up with a technical. That's the best part about it all. Like, she's the one babysitting me, and then somehow she ends up with a technical, and she didn't really do anything. She was just standing there, so that's what was funny.
To understand her rage, you have to understand the unseen war she was fighting on the court. Night after night, Clark was subjected to a level of physicality that was both brutal and, alarmingly, often ignored by the referees. A now infamous moment against the Minnesota Lynx perfectly captured her struggle. After receiving a hard nudge from Nafissa Collier that sent her to the floor, Clark lay there, looking at the referee in disbelief. There was no whistle, no foul. It was just one of countless moments where she was hip-checked, shoved, and hammered away from the ball, leaving many to wonder if she was being intentionally targeted. Her outbursts weren't just random fits of anger. They were the cries of a player who felt she was being punished by both her opponents and the official.
But I think I did a better job. I still thought there was like a couple moments there where I could have been a little bit better. But now it's basically over. I don't have to worry about that anymore, but I don't want to be getting technicals at all. So, and my mom doesn't want that for me either, and I don't want to pay any more fines. So.
Her refusal to back down, combined with the league's apparent inaction, forced her own team to resort to drastic measures. In an extraordinary display of desperation and loyalty, her teammates, led by superstar Aaliyah Boston, effectively became her personal bodyguards. Whenever a call went against Clark and she started marching toward an official with fire in her eyes, Boston would physically grab her, yanking her away from the confrontation. Clark later laughed it off, calling Boston her babysitter, but the humor masked a serious crisis. With the support of Coach Christy Sides, the Indiana Fever had implemented a strategy of physically restraining their star player simply to keep her from getting suspended. This set the stage for a series of games that were less about basketball and more about pure mental warfare. there. With the suspension hanging over her head, every possession became a psychological test. Could she play with her signature intensity without crossing the line? Could she absorb the physical punishment without retaliating? The pressure was immense. The pivotal game against the Washington Mystics was the ultimate gauntlet. One more technical foul and her season would effectively be over. It was a test of not just her skill, but her will. Against all odds, she didn't just survive the pressure, she thrived in it. In that must-win game against the Mystics, Clark put on a masterclass of composure and dominance. She navigated the immense stress flawlessly, channeling all her energy and frustration into her performance. She didn't just avoid the final technical, she led her team to a nail-biting 110-9 victory, proving to the world, and perhaps to herself, that she could control her fire when everything was on the line. It was a monumental victory that showcased her maturity under unimaginable pressure. With the threat of suspension finally lifted, the scoring machine was fully unleashed. Clark finished the season on an absolute tear, reminding everyone why she was the most electrifying player in the world. She didn't just have a great rookie season, she had one of the most statistically dominant of all time. She officially shattered the all-time rookie scoring record held by Simon Augustus, amassing an incredible 761 points. She did it all while averaging a staggering 19.1 points and 8.4 assists per game, numbers that put her in a class of her own. But her rampage through the record books began long before she ever set foot on a WNBA court. Her college career at Iowa was nothing short of legendary. She completely rewrote history by breaking the NCAA's all-time scoring record, a mark previously held by the iconic Pistol Pete Maravich. With 3,051 points, she surpassed a record that many believe was untouchable, cementing her status as a once-in-a-generation talent before she even turned professional. Her monumental achievements were recognized on the biggest stage in sports. At the ESPY Awards, Clark was honored with the award for Best Record-Breaking Performance, a category that has existed since 2001. In a truly historic moment, she became the first woman to ever win it. She was also nominated for Best Woman Athlete, an honor that ultimately went to WNBA titan Asia Wilson, but the nomination alone placed her among the absolute elite in all of sports. Now, as the technical foul count resets for the playoffs, two versions of Caitlin Clark have been revealed. There is the unstoppable Phenom, who shatters records and leaves defenses helpless. And there is the volatile competitor, whose uncontained fire nearly cost her everything. Her teammates have shown they will protect her at all costs, but the question remains. As she looks toward the title, she knows her biggest opponent might just be herself. The league is on notice, but her journey to becoming a legend depends on one thing. Can she finally learn to control the fire, or will it be the one thing that stands in the way of her destiny?